Dang, man. Ooh.
Back scratcher?
Yo, what's wrong with you, dude?
What, you're using the back scratcher?
Why you sound like that, though?
I just really wanted to be funny.
Why you sound like you from the UK, bro?
I just wanted to be funny.
You know what? Forget it. Oh. Hey, what's good with y'all, man? Yo, this is Reef'Lik.
And this is Leaky.
And this is Reef'Lik. Hey! Anime Heart Gang. What's good with y'all, man? Back at again with another video, you feel me?
Today, for the first time ever, we're going to check out Nightmare Files.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Nightmare Files, man. Yo, go support the channel, man. Yo, he makes fire content. So please go check him out. Because he is the GOAT.
So please like, comment, subscribe, and join our big happy family.
Yes, please subscribe, man. Don't be scared to subscribe, man. Once you join Anime Heart Gang, you family for life. Who don't want to join that, man?
Mm-hmm.
We're family for life. Alright, man, so subscribe and join the family. And let's begin!
I do love the eeriness of this, though.
Right.
Nightmare Files.
For this story, my name will be Charlie. Years ago, my first year of college, I lived in a dorm. If only I knew what was going to happen. I earned a scholarship to college for baseball, and all the players lived in one dorm. Being that I was a freshman, they roommate was a senior, so he could show me what right looks like. He was a pretty tough guy who no one would mess with, so I felt like I was in good hands. It was the winter, and by that time of the school year, I was pretty set in my ways and comfortable. I was invited to a house party that one of the sororities were throwing, so I went with a few friends. When we got there, it was like any other party. People were outside, and some were inside having fun. While inside, there was music playing, along with people playing video games in one room.
Okay.
And it looked like a board game going on in the other. That was upstairs. After a while, I went upstairs to see why anyone would be playing a board game in a party. When I got to the room, I noticed that it was the most quiet room in the
Y'all, to be honest with y'all, going to like a college party be wild. Like, you know, when I was staying on campus for that little bit, I went to parties without Leak. Yo, them things was off the chain. Like, there be the step team coming up in there. If you get in their way, they're gonna jump you. Like, people be doing like beer challenges and stuff. Yo, college parties be a trip. And I wouldn't wear no white sneakers up in no college party. Them joints gonna come out brown. But the Spring Fest that I took you to with our homeboy Ty, yo, that joint was wild. Like if y'all like the Spring Fest, y'all, it's like a thing that we have at our college, like where like a real artist come to the school, like a couple of them, and perform. And it was on campus. It wasn't all campus. All campus parties be like off the chain. Like it's gonna be something popping off at them parties. But the ones that be on campus, they cool, but they not like the ones off campus. Like the ones on campus is more security. The ones off campus, you fighting for your life up in them parties. And you better be making sure that you come there with some friends. So don't go to none of these parties alone and stuff. Make sure you have some good friends to come with you. And make sure that you're okay and you make sure that they're okay, you know?
Yeah, never go alone.
Yeah, never go alone.
house, which was odd to me. When I walked in the room, there were 4 girls and a guy sitting at a table. I asked what was going on, and they said they were using a Ouija board.
A Ouija?
I thought it
Nah,
No,
fam.
don't do that.
believed in that type of stuff. While we were messing with the board, it said that there was a girl in the room. But I think that one of the other people that were playing moved it, so I left. That's when unexplainable stuff would happen to me in my dorm. I'd hear laughing in the hallways at odd times of the night, knocks on the window, and I started to have bad dreams. I told my roommate though. He told me it was stress from our upcoming midterms. That went on for about 2 weeks.
Man, nothing
Then I
good
never
ever
get
comes
changed
from
before the
playing a Ouija
rules.
board.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
play that
remember it being
game.
a Thursday
Mhm.
night when
I don't care, respect it,
I
man. You're
was
not about to
asleep in the
release no
middle of the night.
demon out here,
All I heard was,
man.
Mm.
I'm not about to be near that.
Mm.
Charlie, Charlie, wake up. I remember making noises and being half asleep, but I acknowledged him. Then he said something that woke me up immediately. Charlie, what the fuck is that in the corner? I looked in the corner
What?
of the room and I swear there was a silhouette of a girl.
Oh
I
Oh!
was so afraid that I jumped off the
Dude, I
top
would have
bunk
been
and told my
jumping,
roommate to
flying
close the
right
curtains
off
because I was
that
so
bed.
petrified. He was under his covers quivering. Then she spoke.
Why do you seem so scared? All I wanted to do was play with you.
Oh
Oh no, fam. Yo,
no!
I would have booked it.
Yeah!
I would have booked it.
As she's talking,
I
I
want you
sat
talking
in the
about I
dark
want to
for a
play. I
minute.
don't want to play with you.
Nope.
We called the police, but when they came, they never found any girl. I don't know if it was because of the house party, Ouija board game, or coincidence, but that was a moment that I'll never forget. To this day, I still hear odd noises throughout the night wherever I go.
Nah, fam.
Mm. Yeah, stay away from Ouija boards. Man.
Oh my god. No. I mean, a creepy guy laying down on the ground.
So I'm a nurse, and I was driving home from work one night. The roads were deserted, and it was freezing that night. I don't live far from work, maybe a couple of miles. I'm driving down a residential street around the corner from my house, and I see a man laying face down in the street. Once again,
Call
I'm
the
a
police.
nurse, so my
Hmm.
first
Don't
thought
get
is to
out the
pray
car.
that a helping
Something ain't
step.
right about that.
I was coming off of a long shift, and falls happen all the time. As I slowed down the car, I suddenly realized what an idiot move it was. I'm a 100-pound woman, and I don't carry a weapon. I thought I should do something to help this guy, so I called 911 and I drove
Yeah, do that.
Mm.
to a stop at the end of the block.
I'm
While
gonna
I
get
was
out the
stopped at the
car.
light, I explained to the dispatcher that there was a man in the road who might need assistance. All of a sudden, I hear a loud bang, bang from the driver's side
Oh.
window. I screamed and I looked over. A man was
I'd
bouncing
be,
Yo!
against the
I'd be
kitchen
jumping out my
window on the
skin at
blackboard.
that
You
point.
better
I stopped and took
drive!
a few beers and
Yeah.
saw that there was no man laying in the street in
Yo,
front of me.
who is that?
Still on the phone with 911, I screamed, I'm so scared, to the dispatcher and floored it through the red light. I
Hmm.
quickly
Oh,
told
I
him
would have
what had
been
happened.
gone!
Although I was right
Yeah.
by my house, he told me to keep driving. After a few minutes, I had calmed down and he told me to loop back around. I pulled over down the road from my house and I stayed in the car. I didn't see the man anywhere. So I got off the phone with the dispatcher, who told me he was sending a police car to cruise the area. As I gather up my things and do a final scan of the area, then I see the man. He was walking with
Yo!
my left hand.
Yo.
I hunched way down in my car until they were further down the road,
Oh, man.
then bolted into my house.
Yo!
I don't know if he had ill intent, but it freaks me the hell out that he wasn't alone. Just always, always lock your doors.
Yeah. I know that had to be a setup right there. That had to have been a setup.
Y'all, please watch out for creeps out here. There is people like that will take
This
advantage of
happened two
you.
years ago.
Hmm.
Be careful.
My name is James, and my girlfriend at the time was Susie. Susie and I got into an argument about a girl who was just texting me about the edibles. The girl just wanted to know who had edibles and the prices on them. I remember I used the bathroom, and after I came back to the living room, I saw Susie on my phone, and she looked angry. She started asking questions about the girl. You know, regular questions. Am I cheating on her? Is she pretty? The most disturbing one was, if she was right here, right now, would I kiss her or my girlfriend? That was the PG version of what she
I
did.
feel like, why ain't you looking through my
I
phone?
told her she texted me
Mm.
about edibles, and besides that, the girl doesn't even like guys. But I don't think my girlfriend knew.
It's crazy. Like when a chick look through your phone, they get mad, but when you ask them for their phone, oh, it's a whole problem. Like I feel
Mm.
like if I can't look through your phone and you're looking through my phone, so why is you looking through mine?
That is that
That's
is true.
crazy.
Yeah. So we continued
I
to
wonder how
argue
this
for
is
about
going to
20
end.
minutes. I started to say this is stupid, and I remember looking at the clock, and it was 11 p.m.
Thank you.
Since she was staying over that night, I told her we should just stop fighting and try to get some sleep or watch a movie. We agreed and turned on a movie. We were watching Don't Be a Menace to South Central and Open Your Juice on Good. As we were watching the movie, I noticed she was on her phone typing fast and just really involved in her phone. Every time I leaned in a little closer to see what was going on, she would always move her phone away and just give me a cold shoulder. We continued watching the movie until I heard somebody at my door. I said, I wonder who that could be at this time. Again, I looked at the clock, and now it was 1 in the
I'll
morning.
probably be like, "Who's that?"
My mom was in her room asleep, but after she heard the doorbell,
Mm.
she woke up asking who that was. I told her I didn't know, but I was going to find out. So as I started going to the door, I heard whispering from my girlfriend, like she was on the phone or something. I didn't really pay attention to it, so I finally got to the door and I looked through the peephole. I was met with some tall dude, wearing
Oh
mostly all black.
no.
I talked to him through the door,
Why he built
and I
like
asked him, what do you
that?
want? He replies with, I'm just here to drop off a package. Sorry I'm late. And I was
Oh
thinking,
no.
who delivers a package at 1 in the morning?
Right.
Yeah.
So I told him to leave, and he could come back some other time to deliver the package. He said no, in a deep, commanding voice. Just in that moment, my ex-girlfriend Susie comes walking towards me with a grin on her face. She says to me, so you're really not going to tell me who that girl was texting you? I
Come
explained
on.
that she wasn't
You
anybody,
mean to tell
and
me
I didn't
you
know her
called?
like that. And this is the wrong time to be asking me a question like that when there is somebody at the door I didn't know. Till this day, what she said still gives me the chills just thinking about it. She said, the guy at the door, he's here to get rid of you. At first, I
Wait,
thought
you
that was a
called
prank
him?
and said, that's
That's
not
what I
funny.
said.
She said, yeah, it is. Well, at least for me, it is. As this was going on, the guy
Yo,
at
she
the door
is
answered the
nuts,
door
bro.
one more time
Yeah.
again. So I was leaning up against the door, preventing him to come in. As I looked behind me, Susie was gone. A few seconds later, she comes back with a knife and said, either he's going to get you or I will. I started flipping out and
Oh.
thinking, what am I going to do?
Oh
Who's the guy
man.
right here? Just in that moment, I heard a commanding voice saying, back away from the door or we'll shoot. I thought to myself, what the fuck? So I swung open the door, and there was the police. One of the police officers told Susie to drop the knife because when I took my eyes off of her and I opened the door, she was right behind me, like literally
Yo.
right behind me. But the
Mm.
officer saying that must have scared her, and she dropped the knife immediately. Apparently, while all this was going on, my mom called the cops and explained the situation the best she could.
You got a good
Good.
mother.
Obviously,
Yeah.
so
You
she
got a
couldn't
good
call
mother.
attention to
Mm.
herself and could get help as fast as she could. The police arrested both of them and took them to the station. Apparently, the guy that was there was her cousin. And the whole time the movie was playing, she was texting him, telling him to come over and quote unquote, deal with me. I'm just happy that I'm still here today. My mom saved my life. I don't even want to imagine what they would have done with me.
Mm.
Wow. Over
That.
for something on the phone.
My name is
Hmm.
Chris, and this happened to me in the late 1970s. I grew up in a poor neighborhood in Calgary, Alberta, and like most young kids, I had a number of friends from school and the neighborhood. I was 13 at the time, and this was right at the very beginning of the personal home computer revolution.
Hmm.
You would
Mm.
hear about personal computers on the news all the time. However, no one actually owned a home computer, and it was almost like a story of science fiction to actually see one. One day, My friends started talking about this university professor who moved into one of our duplexes near our school. He was supposed to be a really cool guy who had all kinds of gadgets in his apartments, and he actually owned a personal computer. One afternoon, when walking home from school, I was crossing through a park near the professor's house. From the second floor balcony of the duplex, I saw some of my friends and they waved to me to come over, so I did. The teacher lived on the second floor of a two-story duplex and looked the part of a teacher with shaggy hair, beard, and glasses.
Predator.
At the time, I was too young and naive to see
Predator.
the warning signs about
He's
this
giving
guy.
me them vibes,
He lived
bro.
in a three-bedroom duplex apartment.
I
He
mean, we
said he
don't
had a
know
very
yet, but we'll see.
He just give me the vibe. Like,
the apartment
We don't know
where my
yet,
friends were
but
living.
we'll see.
you look creepy,
He
bro.
had a lot of money and
Hmm.
camera equipment and developed his own film. Most importantly, he was a computer science teacher when the field was pretty brand new, and he had built a home computer from scratch. My friends and I thought he was the coolest guy we ever met. He had all kinds of games on his computer, and he allowed any of the young guys in the neighborhood to pop by and play on his computer. He also had all kinds of weird gadgets and experiments. He had one of those Jacob Ladder lightning arc gadgets you'd see in those old horror movies. He always seemed to have some new gadget he was making. It wasn't
Mm.
long before we would
Why is
visit
you
his classroom
towering over me like that?
or see his weird gadgets all the
Yeah.
time. Sometimes he'd get very physical and grab one of us from behind and bear hug us when he was greeting us, or he'd stand
Okay.
uncomfortably close to us.
Okay.
After a few
That.
months, we were getting suspicious about this guy. He didn't seem to have any family or friends. Sometimes, when there were a lot of kids at his apartment and he was distracted, we would snoop around and look in his cabinets and things like that. We find weird items like a pair of
That is
brass
weird.
knuckles, handcuffs, and some beads that looked like they were supposed to be white, but they had dried up
My
brown
bad, y'all. I
spots on them.
seen a fly. My
The
bad.
door to his
Mm,
bedroom was
If
always
you see
locked.
me doing something crazy, there's a fly
One
in
day,
here.
mm.
when there was a lot of kids there, he put on some music. He always puts on music, but this time it wasn't top 40 music like he usually would put on. It was like folk music of some kind. My buddy and I were already suspicious at this point, and while everyone was having fun on the computer or hanging with the teacher, we listened to the lyrics of the music. It was hard to make out the lyrics over all the raised voices in the room, but it became very clear that the lyrics was about homosexuality. My buddy and I freaked out,
Yo,
as it
what,
hit us at
fam?
the same time that this guy might like kids in a way that wasn't right. We quickly made an
I
excuse to
told you
leave
he's the predator.
and
I
went to the
told you,
police to report
bro.
suspicions. My father freaked out and
Mm.
told us never to go over that guy's place again. We also put the word out on the street, and pretty quickly everyone became weary of this guy. However, one of my friends from our block, Danny, he thought we were all wrong, and he kept going to see this teacher.
Oh, nah,
One day,
fam.
Danny stopped coming to school. When
Then
the room
another
was
thing, if like, why is y'all even going to a random person's house anyway, without my permission or my consent, and I don't even know the guy?
Yeah.
So if something happens, you're just going to be stuck like that, and I don't even know
Man, always tell your parents where you're
where
at,
you're
though.
going or who you're talking to. Don't be
Hmm.
just going to a random person's house. Like, nah.
Yeah.
something bad happened to him by that guy with the computers. Danny moved away, and
Ain't
not
no
long
telling
after,
what can
so did the
happen.
teacher. I can't tell you how lucky me and my buddies felt to have stopped going to that guy's house before something happened to us.
Hmm.
Years later, when I was in my early 20s, I took a course at the university on computer programming. One night, my buddy and I were in a computer lab, and we were testing out a new program I wrote. When who walks into the lab? That old guy. This time, both my buddy and I stood up and yelled at that guy to get away from
Yo.
us.
Yo,
He
he
stood
was
with us,
there.
and other people in the lab asked what was going on. We told him what happened years ago. I don't know if someone reported him, but we never saw him at the university again after that.
Mm.
Yo, fam.
Yeah.
What?
Watch this.
I can show you how to get the sweetest deals online when you shop from major retailers like Amazon and Target. You can drop prices automatically. I can show you how. But
An old weird guy follows me home.
Oh, heck no.
Man.
This story happened to me on my first day of high school. I remember walking down my street in the morning toward the bus stop. There were a few other kids that stood next to me talking. There was also a man who definitely didn't belong at a high school bus stop. He was tall,
Why you
had a
look like
shaved head,
Nappa?
a mustache.
Yo!
I thought he looked weird and out of place, but I really didn't give it a second thought. My first day of high school actually went fine. It was on the way home where it all went wrong. I got on the school bus, and as I was walking to find my seat, I saw the same man from this morning sat on the back of the bus. This time he was staring right at me. I
Oh
didn't know
no,
then,
man.
and I still don't know now, how this guy even got on the bus in the first place. The house I lived in was one of the last stops, so by the time my stop arrived, most of the kids had gotten off the bus, and the bus was empty. I could just feel that guy staring at me the whole bus ride home, though I didn't dare to look behind me and check.
Yeah, I'd be creeped out too, man.
When my
Heck
stop
yeah.
finally arrived, I got off and I started walking. And of course, that creepy man got off and started following me. I started walking faster. And as I did, the man got faster. And that continued right
At
down
that
my
point, I
street.
start running.
Thank you.
The faster I walked, the faster he would. It got to the point where I needed to start running. My house
Woo!
was close by.
Yeah, run.
I ran by my house and slammed the door shut. And I looked through the kitchen window to see if the man was still chasing me. He was
You better
walking
tell your
past my
parents
house like
that.
nothing ever
Mhm.
happened while staring at me. Later that night, I was upstairs in my bedroom when someone knocked at the door, the downstairs door.
Did you tell your
The
parents?
next thing I heard was my mom calling me downstairs. When I get there, my mom is looking confused and checking around outside. I say to her, "Yeah, Mom?" She said, "That's weird. There was a man just here
You ain't
asking
even
to speak
tell
to
her.
you." I asked what he looked
Bruh,
like,
why wouldn't
and
you
she
tell her
described the
that?
same man who chased me home earlier that day. I told my mom
Why'd you
about what
tell her
happened
so late?
and how I was pretty sure it was the same guy
That
who knocked at the door.
man.
My mother told the police and our school. And actually, this wasn't the first time they have heard reports of this.
Bruh,
From what
come
I know,
on,
he was never
bro.
caught. Who knows what he could be doing right now? Just be careful.
Mhm.
Y'all be careful walking alone home and
Yeah.
catching the bus because there are some weirdos that do be doing that.
Mhm.
This happened to me about 7 years ago.
Be
I
careful.
worked at KFC through high school and college. I went to college really close to where I grew up, so staying at the same work location was very easy for me.
Mhm.
One day I went to work at 4:30 and had to work the drive through half of my shift due to someone calling off. It seemed like a regular day until we were getting ready to close. At around 10:50 p.m., this guy walked in and stood by the front register.
What the?
He
Oh my
looked weird as if he
god.
just came from a costume party. I let him know that when he's ready to order, just tell me, as I'm cleaning due to us closing in 10 minutes. He told me that he wasn't ordering and wanted to know what time we closed.
Why?
I told him 11 p.m. and he left. I noticed that he got inside a van that has been sitting in the parking lot for hours. I thought it was weird but continued to clean up. There were a few of us still on shift. Again, everything seemed regular that night. I grabbed the trash and went outside toward the dumpster. As I approached the dumpster, I noticed someone trying to hide in the shadows behind the dumpster. I stopped immediately.
Yo, that's
I
him.
tried to squint
Okay,
toward him to get a better look.
you're not fooling
But whoever
anybody.
that
You're
was
not
behind
slick.
me
Oh, he's trying to get. Yo, he's trying to catch a lick. Yo.
I already saw them. I turned
You're not
around
fooling
immediately
nobody.
and went back
I would have threw
inside.
that garbage
I
at
told my manager to take me
him.
to the door with one of my coworkers to get a better look.
You ain't about to catch
They
me
couldn't see the
slipping.
door,
Mhm.
so they went outside to check it out and left me inside by myself. I felt safe while they were outside.
Once he would kill you, I would have been like, boom,
I
like with the garbage bag.
cash out for the night. Then on my left, I swear I saw the man from earlier in the window.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
He had a blank look on his face, then he started hitting the window with a dead raccoon trying to get in while yelling my name.
yep.
I ran to the front door as my manager and coworker were walking back in. I frantically told them what happened, and my manager ran back outside to the window while my coworker stayed with me and called the police. The guy left before my manager was able to get him. The cameras outside got the license plate, but it didn't match the description of the van, and the plates were registered to a woman. This guy was never found,
Oh,
and I am forever worried that he will come back for me.
Man, that is scary right there, man.
Growing up, I lived
Ghost
in
in
the
the
middle of the
house.
woods. No neighbors for about a mile on each side. And we owned 60 acres of.
Would you live out in the woods like that, like away from people?
Uh, n- no, not really. Though, I do. I would like to at least have a few neighbors here and there too. Also,
Yeah, it's like I can understand you trying to be away from civilization,
mm,
but I at least need people like near me to at least feel comfortable. So if something does happen, it won't just be land. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I feel like I need to be around people so I know like if something does happen or I stream out for people, I know there's people near that I
hmm
could go to besides being out in an open field by myself and I can't do nothing about it.
and another thing is always need to know your neighbors too. Also,
Yeah, get closer to your neighbor, but that's the
yes,
thing that's scary too. You don't know if your neighbors could be the killer. That's the thing that's crazy.
yeah,
Forest in a swamp after that. So I basically lived in the middle of nowhere. One summer when I was about 14, I was out in the middle of the woods playing with my dog
mm,
when I kept feeling something hit my elbow. I'd go to throw Max's ball and the bump would make me throw it straight up in the air. Assuming it was just me bumping it on the trees or something, I just ignored it.
What the heck
After
is
the fourth or fifth
that?
time of it happening,
yeah.
I
I
thought,
even,
well, this sucks. I'll just go home.
mm,
Walking back, I
I
felt
even see
uneasy, but I
that.
knew it was just me freaking myself out because we were alone. About an hour later, Max and I are at home on the couch when the garage door opens and he starts barking.
What's up with
My
people
mom
leaving
looked
their
at me like to
garage
let my mom and
doors
dad
open?
in,
Like,
even though they were home really early. I peered through the peephole and saw the door was still shut and no one was in the garage. Quieting Max down, I opened the door slowly and I called out for my dad. Nothing. No response at all. So I got out to check the door and it's still locked. Okay, sure. Weird, but oh well. Max heard it too, so at least I know I'm not going crazy.
Mhm.
About 20 minutes later, I hear the door open again. And this time, Max starts growling like crazy.
Yeah, your dog know
I
what's up.
quiet him down again and just
watch out for
assume
the
it's the
warning
wind or
signs.
something making a
hmm
noise, even though by this point my heart is racing. I hear footsteps come up the stairs and think, oh geez, Dad really is home this time. And I hop up and run to the door. It starts to jiggle, so I run faster to let him in. I peek through the hole, and even though my hand is loosely around the jiggling handle, there's no one on the other side of the door. Terrified, I go hide on the couch with all the lights on, but Max is still growling. About an hour after that, I start to feel a little better even though I'm still terrified, and then I hear the door handle jiggle again. This time it was Max jiggling it. He needed to go outside, and the only way outside was through the garage.
Man, I'm not going out
I
there after I
literally sprung with
experience
him into
something
the
weird.
kennel. And as I'm standing in there, I decide to ask this thing questions to make myself feel better because I knew it wouldn't answer me. Thinking about what to ask, my eyes are drawn to the huge, heavy oak door on the kennel. It was always open because it was too heavy for me to move easily. So I said out loud, okay, Ghost, if you're really here, Shut this heavy door.
You're bugging, bro.
Ain't nothing.
Yeah.
You're
A minute
bugging.
goes by. Nothing. Max is still sniffing around. I turn around and yell at him to hurry up, and then from behind me I hear click. I whipped around and saw the giant door had swung shut and latched. Okay, clearly it was just the wind. It wasn't really windy, but
Or it could be
it
the
was
ghost
the
he
wind.
was talking
For sure,
about.
it had to be. So I proceed. Okay, ghost, that was the wind. If you're really real, you'll open the massive door back up.
Yo, why you keep on provoking this thing, bro?
I relax a bit and then squat down with my head on my knees, reminiscing about how lame I just was being scared when I hear click, clack.
On thing! Nah, fam.
Yeah, at that point
Max
I
was
grab my
gone, so
dog
we booked
and
it
run back
to the
into that house.
locking every door in the house. For the next 4 hours, I would hear the footsteps on the stairs and the door handle jiggling every few minutes, until finally, around 11 p.m., my dad walks and yells at me for wasting electricity. I never told him or my mom about it until about 4 months later.
Why?
He came in from hunting after dark. He looked shaken, and I asked him.
Why would you not tell him
He
that?
said he aimed at 2 deer but missed both completely because it felt as if something was hitting his elbow and making him shoot way above the deer.
You're bugging, bro.
That's when I told him everything.
Why you have to tell him so late?
That is a good question right there, man.
Dude, you're bugging.
My name is Stan. I'm 17 years old, and this story happened about 4 years ago. The school I went to was in a very rural area in my village. My friend Peter went to the same school, but I lived further away. His mom would always drop him off near my house, and we would always walk to school together.
Okay.
On our way to school,
Okay.
we would always pass some farms, and one of them had this really old, creepy house that was abandoned for years. One day, me and Peter said we should check it out and see what's in there, basically. We couldn't go after school because, like I said, Peter lived further away, and his mom needed to get him home. This was also during the winter, so it got dark soon. For myself and Peter, we came up with the plan that Peter would have a sleepover around my house. And when my parents were asleep, we would sneak out and explore the abandoned farmhouse. It was Friday, and the past few days had been snowing. After school, Peter came to my house. We spent the evening playing video games and looking up creepy videos on the internet, anxiously waiting to sneak out. 1 a.m. rolled around, and we put our coats on and snuck out my bedroom window, which is ground level. We had one flashlight between the both of us, which Peter managed to sneak out of his dad's garage. We walked through the farm fields and made it to the house. Naturally, the first thing we did was try to open the front door, but it was locked. We looked around at a few of the windows, and one of them was smashed open. So we used this as our entrance. Surprisingly, the place seemed
Y'all, please be
untouched
careful
for how
going
long
to
it
these
had been
abandoned
rumored to be
places.
abandoned.
Yeah.
Cause these
It
places
was
be
just covered in
like
dust
out
and
of
had a
control.
real
You don't know
strong
who's in there.
Not bad necessarily, but it did smell odd. I shone my flashlight to the top of the stairs. I couldn't see anything, but it seemed really eerie up there. And then I heard wood creaking. It kind of sounded like slow footsteps, but
Nah,
I
bro.
wasn't certain. Peter then said, we should check upstairs. I told him I'm not going up there. There's probably some maniac
Okay.
up there waiting to kill us. The next thing that happened was the phone rang. One of those really old phones made myself and Peter jump out of our skin. At that time, I didn't think about
Wait a
it,
minute.
but
If
I thought
that
it
place
was
is supposed to
weird
be
how
abandoned,
someone
How's the
would
phone
just
still working?
I picked it up, and I said in a nervous voice, hello? For a second there,
why would you
there
answer
wasn't
it?
any response. And then a man spoke on the other end saying, I'm not a maniac. Why don't you come upstairs and see?
Get out of there!
Oh,
Get out of there!
run!
Go, go, go!
Peter
Run!
the house as fast as we could. We ran out down
Woo! Oh, that
Oh
one
my
had my
God.
heart racing.
but there wasn't. So I told Peter to slow
No, no.
After taking a better look at the house, one of the upstairs lights
It was waiting for you.
Oh no, fam.
watching us. I didn't know what to think. And honestly, I was terrified.
Oh my goodness.
I bet you were.
And the both of us made our way back to my house. We managed to sneak back inside without making my parents wake up.
No.
Peter didn't say much. I think he was too creeped out as to what just
I
happened.
would be too.
And to be honest, I didn't feel like talking either. I was actually quite paranoid that, I don't know, that guy was going to follow us to my house. Thankfully, at least to what I know of, we weren't followed. From that night on, every time me and Peter walked to school, we look at that creepy farmhouse. I can't help but feel someone's
Yeah, I'd be
looking back
creeped
at
out
us.
too. He was waiting for you.
He was trying to. He was plotting. He wanted to catch a body.
Had just moved into a tiny town that was literally in the middle of nowhere and had less than 100 people in the total population. I was about 7 at the time, and I had overheard my parents talking about a dog that kept barking all night that kept them up. I wanted to help them, so I went out looking for neighbors with dogs, just to ask them if they could maybe keep their dogs from barking all night. So this particular town had a bad track record of houses catching on fire.
Wow.
So there were a lot of old, half-burned houses just sitting there. This particular incident happened with one of these ruined houses. As I'm walking, I hear someone call out to me, and I turn to see a very beautifully kept lawn in front of a nice white two-story house. There's a nice old couple sitting in lawn chairs out in front, and the woman is calling me over. I walk over to the fence. The woman asks me what I'm doing walking around here by myself. I tell them about the dog and ask if they know about it. The woman says that it's her dog and she'll try to keep the dog down, and then offered me a full-size
I'm not
sample,
eating
and I
that.
took it.
Yeah.
Feeling like I accomplished my goal.
Why are you
I went
looking
home.
like that?
At that time, I really wanted to eat the Snickers, but it had melted on my walk back home, so I put it in the freezer to chill. Then my friend comes over, and we head over to her house, and I forgot about the candy. Wondering how the ruined houses fit into this? Well, when I returned home from my friend's house, I told my mom about the nice couple, and they would keep their dog quiet. I tell her where the house was, and she gets really confused. What do you mean? There isn't a house there. I would have shown the candy bar as evidence, but I had totally forgot about it. After some back and forth, we agreed to go on a walk tomorrow in the daytime, so I can show her which house I mean. Next day, we walked down to where the house was, and there was no house. The well-kept lawn was just overgrown weeds, and the house was just nothing but a pile of rubble. Only the fence still remained. I ran home to show her the candy that I had just remembered about, and that was
So
gone
that
too.
was a ghost.
I still
Wow.
get chills when I pass by that vacant lot to this day. And right now, I'm
Wow.
20 years old.
Can you imagine having an interaction, a whole conversation with a ghost, bro?
Yeah, I'd be terrified.
Man. Wait a minute.
It was crazy.
All right, y'all. We're gonna stop it right here. We're gonna make a part 2 to this. Yo, this is crazy, man. Yo, Mr. Nightmare Files, man. Yo, you got us scared over here.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, we definitely gotta do a part 2 to this. All right, y'all. So that'll be it for this video. Expect a part 2
Yeah.
because this is about to get wild. So we'll see y'all in the next reaction. So peace. Shout out to
Peace
Mr.
out.
Nightmare Files, man. Yo, peace.